All right, we're going to be watching Toqa, who is playing DPS on Hollywood. This is Diamond 2 on PC. They're going to be starting as Ashe and play a little bit of Reaper and then Bastion at the end. They are actually not the one who submitted this replay. A very nice friend of theirs who's going to be playing as Olive Crane here. Their support submitted this replay on their behalf. Toqa does have experience in team shooters such as Paladins, but I find that positioning and timing seems to be a rough spot for them. Olive Crane says, I've done reviews for them before, that they thrive really well when others review their gameplay, but it might be hard to point out exact issues when it comes to watching their friends' gameplay, so any help would be appreciated. So let's take a look. I've already done a pre-watch of this game. It is going to end up being a loss, and I think the dominant things that come out to me, number one, is I don't feel like you have the game sense and the mechanics of what I would expect from a Diamond 2 player, to be perfectly honest. And because I've reviewed Olive Crane's replay before, I think they're like a little underranked on an alt account here. So I think they're like GM and they're like Masters right now on this account. So I think that you might have been pulled up a bit by their play, which might explain sort of what we kind of see here. But I'll kind of cover this in detail and talk about what you could do differently and how to improve. So for starters, just thinking about Ashe. So Ashe is a medium to long range hero. She thrives when she gets pocketed by a Mercy because it changes her breakpoints. Her headshot does something like 195 damage when she gets pocketed, something in that ballpark. So she can almost one-shot squishy heroes. One shot plus a body shot kills them pretty much all the time. Her dynamite does a tremendous amount of damage. Her ulti's decent, and just really, really good if you have good aim. So in terms of what I would expect out of Ashe, okay, number one is I do not expect my Ashe to make any space, typically speaking, especially in high diamond. I think you're right on the verge of like understanding how to create space on your own. But in general, I'm expecting the Sigma to go forward, to push this corner, and then for the Ashe to then rain down hell on the opposing team and get kills. Okay, that's kind of your job in the situation, is that you need to get kills. If you don't get kills as DPS, then you're throwing, right? Like you have to get kills or else you're going to lose the game. So thinking here, what are the good spots for Ashe? Well, let's go through all the possible spots. Spot number one is over here, which I think is a decently good angle here. If they don't have good spam, if they have spam, this is really dangerous. Like if they have Junkrat or whatever, you can't stand in this room. Option number two is stand right here, which I don't think is good for Ashe because everyone's going to be attacking right here. You get focused down. Number three is this high ground, which is good as long as they don't have anything to challenge high ground. Number four is playing way back here, which is fine as long as they have cafe. Cafe is this area here. As long as they have upper cafe, I think that this is still a really good spot until you push them out of cafe. And number five is all the way over here in the back, right, by dumpster. I think that's really bad for Ashe because you get isolated really easily and you don't have mobility and it takes you forever to get there. So there's no reason to play dumpster. So of these particular options, we have one. This is computers, right, or server. You can play in, server. So you can play in server, okay? You can play roof. You can play car, right, if you're trying to clear out cafe, and then your last option would be right here. So you have this option, and then this option, right, as your three possible options. And then again, I'm not expecting you to get kills at the very start. I'm expecting you to kind of help your Sigma start generating some pressure, and then once the Sigma starts compressing the enemy team, that's when you have to get kills. So we're going to start here. We're aiming. This is fine. You go for the Ana. Yep, force her out. Yeah, that's really good value. Just forcing her down is good. Or you and the Hanzo both kind of did it. Great. Again, I would be not shy about taking shots here. You miss the dynamite, and I think that's already kind of sign number one that you're not so proficient with Ashe. Ashes at upper diamond masters don't miss dynamite. And when I say don't miss, I would say 95% plus of the time they hit the dynamite. So for your very first diamond of the game where you're not under any pressure to miss is not a good sign like that you're mechanically at the level of where you can climb or carry games. Because this is pretty straightforward. For people who don't know, if you throw dynamite and just don't move your mouse, your crosshair will stay on the dynamite, which flies in a straight line for a bit until it starts arcing. So you can just throw a dynamite and just pop it without moving your mouse at all. And then you can guarantee to not miss it as long as you don't move. And don't wait too long. So that's kind of number one. Again, in the grand scheme of things, are you going to lose if you miss a dynamite? No, but dynamite has a very long cooldown, okay? So if you look right here, Dynamite has a 12-second cooldown. 12 seconds is an eternity in Overwatch. Like, this fight might be decided before you get another Dynamite. And losing out on what is the best AoE damaging ability in the game that's not an ultimate, completely missing it is not good. From an ulti perspective, from a pressure perspective, from a damage perspective, all in all, not very good. Alright, you go over here, you chill for a second, you get healed, right? You coach gun up top. I don't think your coach gun mechanics are great. I think you drifted here. I think that a better Ashe, and I don't play a lot of Ashe, but I think that a better Ashe would have turned this way, coach gunned, and then gone slid up the top to get up here earlier. Because you're going to see that you're going to float in the air right now. Like, you see how you kind of land away and then you have to wind back to it? I think that is not optimal with coach gun. And I think that if you just angled a little, not directly down, but a little more sideways, I think it will reduce the altitude. I haven't tested it. That's my instinct here, is it does not feel like you're comfortable with the Ashe movement. Okay, you're taking high ground. So high ground's generally good for you. The problem is the Hanzo is also taking this spot, so you're both doubling up on this situation. And you notice that the Zen is also taking server. So the rest of your team, I think, is doing the right call. You're kind of slow to get up here. It's not bad, per se, being up here, but it does reduce the number of angles the team has to defend. Okay? Like, if you could take, for example, a third option here, just break the Sigma shield in this situation, because nobody's aiming at you, your team is doing a really good job forcing the whole team back, right? So you probably, in this situation, are actually free to probably take main and force out their Sigma and push him back along with your Sigma. Again, I don't think it's the worst thing that you're up here. I just don't necessarily know that it's optimal. But that's fine. We're up here. So this moment in time, if I'm playing tank or support, this is where I expect you to get kills. Okay, the whole team is pushed back. There's no pressure on you. You're full health. There's an Hanzo coming up on you right now. But I expect you to kill this Torb 90% of the time. The Torb is grossly out of position. There is no way, because even the Torb sits behind the cart, you can still shoot him. I would say that you should kill the Torb over 90% of the time in this situation if you are Diamond, assuming he does not get healed. One, miss, right? Overload, miss again. Sorry, I forget about overload. Assuming you overload, at least you have the force overload, right? And then do some more damage. You see you missed that other Dynamite again. So you're now 0 for 2 on Dynamites on something that really should be like a 90-95% thing. You're not going to hear this Hanzo coming up, which is also a problem. You should have turned right here and immediately started dueling the Hanzo. Okay, so you get down to 5 health, then you're slow to react, and then your reaction is sort of bad. So you walk up to the corner and then you jump right here for no particularly good reason. Now you jump across. I don't think this is a good idea. I think you just kind of chill right now. Playing up here would be good to let your Ana heal here, and then just like strafe over here to make sure you don't get headshot. You crossed over. You could have died right now to this arrow that crossed. And these are all like micro, like this right here should be a death for you, right? And that should be a death for you. Now you're full health, so now you're pretty much good unless you get headshot. So now you're trying to scope and take a fight against a one-shot hero, which is a bad idea from a DPS mechanics perspective, okay? Hanzo kills you in one hit. You have to shoot him twice to get that kill. Also, you're going to be slowed, right? Which is going to be much larger problem than him, because he just slows initially, then released the arrow, and he's full speed. You have to scope for both of the shots here if you're planning on taking a scope fight. So what happens here is the Hanzo goes back, he's going to Sonic. You see the Sonic happen right in front of you, which likely reveals you. It does, okay? And so let's just watch from the Hanzo perspective, right? So you're going to die right there, which is not supposed to happen, okay? You saw him fire Sonic right there, because obviously, why is he shooting an arrow like into the ground? A. B is, despite knowing that he's a one-shot hero, you decide to re-peek while scoped here, challenging a fight where you have to hit him twice in, like, it's almost mathematically impossible for you to kill him, right? If he slides out for just one quick shot and goes back, even if you have an aimbot, you can't kill him fast enough, because he's going to fire one arrow and then be behind cover. The only reason he dies here is your Hanzo, who's also a one-shot hero, kills him. There's no reason for you to be dead right now. You just shouldn't have taken this fight. And recognizing like what fight you should take is very important, which is one reason why I mentioned like this doesn't look like a high diamond game to me, because I don't think a Diamond 2 player would choose to take that fight against the Hanzo like that at this range. At a minimum, you could have taken the fight over here, right? Or just thrown Dynamite and just forced him out and then gone back and to shoot the rest of the team, right? It's not your job to win that 1v1 against that Hanzo in that situation. So we're going to come out again. I mean, this is all more or less fine. I would think this is really dangerous to just hop up in the air like that. I really just would have just gone up and taken high ground. I think it's a good reason for you to be playing low ground right now. You missed the 2 shots on the Ana. You throw Dynamite, but you're only Dynamiting the Sigma, which is not very valuable. The Sigma's going to heal up right away. This Dynamite does nothing. So this is a bad Dynamite. Even chucking the Dynamite at the Torb would have been good, or just waiting for a better opportunity. So, Dynamiting the Hanzo on the right side would have been huge if you realized he was here. Again, playing this spot, no good, right? You see the Hanzo, if he comes out the right door, because you knew he died, comes out right here, shoots you in the side of the head, because you're not going to realize he's there. Versus if you're playing server right here, you got really good angles. Or if you're playing roof, right? Either of those are much better option than where you're playing right now. So Kiriko comes down. So let's think about aim for a second. Kiriko comes down, not attacking you at all. I would expect no scope accuracy to be 60% plus right here. So we're going to go for miss, miss, Coach Gun, most of which misses. Like you see how little, Coach Gun can do up to 90 damage, and it can headshot. So you did 25 damage, so you hit about 25% of your Coach Gun shots right there. So this should be a fairly easy shot, and you missed that one. Because now she's moving backwards in a straight line against the wall, so now you're 0 for 3, not including the Coach Gun. Against a Kiriko that just came down, killed your Ana, and walked away. Yeah, not ideal, right? Again, watching from her perspective, so you see, like, she's under no danger from you at any moment in time. Like, you're just not generating any threat because of your aim. Another Dynamite that you miss, you do get rocked here, but you do have time to shoot this Dynamite. As you can see your bullet missing it. So you've missed every Dynamite except for the one that you popped in the Sigma so far, I think. So you're like 1 for 4 or 1 for 5. Alright, you hit the Torb. Fine, right? Resetting. I don't expect you to get a kill right there. I mean, I think the Torb was overextended, but I don't expect you to get a kill right there. So, they dragging you out of server, reset, great. That's fine. Yep, there's nothing you can do here. Just reset with your team. Okay, now we play up. Yep. I saw the Hanzo Sonic Arrow. Like, you saw the spiral, right? The animation of the Sonic Arrow. That. You see the trail? This right here indicates Sonic Arrow. So I would be nervous about exactly where this landed. I probably would have looked and be like, wait, where does this go? Over there, not worried. But if it landed right here, I need to play very differently because I know that he can see me and he's going to kill me if I come around the corner. So another Dynamite that pops too early, right? Not at a good angle. The only person you're hitting it with is the Sigma, right? Again, you want that Dynamite here, not here, which is one reason why taking server would be so helpful for you. So he's going to pop Flux. The correct response would have been to Coach Gun this way, sideways. Going upwards does not help you at all because it goes infinitely upwards. You should have Coach Gun sideways to get out of the Flux. Instead, you go up, which doesn't help you at all. Now you shoot at the Sigma, you get low. Right? Zen pops Trance to save you. Now you're just no-scoping here, which is not great. And you're missing most of it, right? And he's got Grasp up. So now you are at a close range fight with the Ana. You have no abilities. I don't really know why you're trying to force this right now anyway, instead of just sitting here and just kill the Sigma, right? Like, I don't know why are you running closer and closer here to the Sigma right now. But you decide to ignore the Sigma. You go up to fight the Ana. You don't have Coach Gun or Dynamite, but they're both about to be ready. And let's kind of analyze this fight right here too. And I'm sure this is kind of painful to watch, but like I think it's important. So you get closer to the end. 1, right? Miss, right? So you're 1 for 3. You throw Dynamite, miss, 0 for 4. Coach Gun, which barely hits her, and then you die. Not great. I would start by saying, again, short-range fights are not in your favor as Ashe, as a general rule, number 1. Number 2 is if you're going to take the fight, you got to hit shots, and you're just missing so many shots, and that's really, really hurting your ability to influence the game at all, right? If you don't hit people with your gun, then you're going to be in for a bad time. All right, your team manages to cap the point without you. I can virtually guarantee you're probably the lowest ranked person on your team and probably the game based on how everybody else is moving. Everybody else looks like very experienced in the game, like they're doing things more or less correctly, but except for their Torb, who is probably your Diamond 2 equivalent. But I think I'd say that you kind of look a little bit out of place in terms of like the speed of the game and the accuracy required. So you really shouldn't be on cart right now. It is not your job to be on cart. You should have been staying here, right here, trying to help push off what's going on over here, shooting the Ana, whatever it ends up being, and then preparing to take high ground on the right. So you're too far forwards. You coach gun upwards for no reason. Again, that coach gun was never going to get you anywhere useful. Like, look at where this coach gun puts you. You see? I don't really know what you're trying to accomplish with this coach gun, because you're not high enough to get onto the roof, A. B, you're not even high enough or close enough to get over to the, like, this, porch roof, balcony roof, whatever, porch roof, right? So what was this coach gun accomplishing? Nothing. You could have coach gunned the Winston back here, which would have completely stopped him from getting any value. That would have been huge. You throw a dynamite that's not even close to the Winston. You pop it anyway, despite the fact no one's there. I would have left it there in case the Winston walks back into it. And then you try to fight the Winston at close range. And again, looking at the aim, you cannot miss tanks. So at this range, I would expect 90 to 100% accuracy on all DPS heroes on a tank. Excluding the bubble, right? The bubble blocks it fine. But assuming you can hit the Winston, I'm expecting 90% plus accuracy at your level, at Diamond 2 on PC. I would expect that. So let's watch. Right, 1, 2, 3, so 4. So that's 2 for 4 at close range, and you didn't fire as fast as you possibly could have. So you're clearly also struggling with the aim. I think aim is a significant issue for you. Good headshot, and then you whiff everything from here. Right, 1. So you're a flick shooter for sure. Like, I don't think you can track well at all. Gonna walk this back again. I would also be careful playing out here in the open, because if the Cassidy does challenge you, like, he's heavily favored in that fight. He only needs to hit 3 shots, and he doesn't need to scope. So he's gonna be moving a lot faster than you and be more evasive while you're scoping to take these shots. But starting from right here, headshot, great, right? Miss, right? And now you take that headshot, miss. He's also missing you. You jump, which is a bad idea. That definitely should have resulted in your death right there. And then you get low from a kunai, and then you have to chill. So another opportunity where I think that you probably should have died. I think it was a bad decision for you to rest that to begin with. But then you did have an opportunity to kill him, but couldn't convert the shots. Again, your accuracy, your effective accuracy, like if I put a squishy sized target within, let's say, 15 meters of you and had you try to shoot them, your scoped accuracy feels like it's something about 25%. I think that at high diamond, I would be looking at something around 60% for that range. So I think you're probably less than half as accurate as I would expect someone at your level. Again, you might play other heroes besides Ashe well, but I think on Ashe in particular, like, this is not looking like you are strong for or like where I would expect Diamond 2 to be. So you're going to send this Bob. I don't think this Bob is in a particularly good position. You'll notice that this whole area is out of line of sight of the Bob, so you can only really shoot people over here, versus if you sent it like right here, it has much better line of sights and ability to attack more people. It gets slept right away. You decide to chase after the Kiriko instead of going after the Winston, which is not probably what I would do, just because they're so far back. Like, this Kiriko's not going to be able to do anything anyway, but if you want to do this, it's fine, if you can hit shots. So this is an opportunity to scope and then just kind of double shot the Kiriko. 2, 3, 4, right? There's like a lot of missing going on. That's too far away. You saw that spread was coming into effect right now for your gun. I don't know why you're dynamiting right now. Right? So she's stuck. She's gone. She's long gone by the time you're throwing dynamite. So that Winston, you can hear he's in the right room. You could have chased him down. He's only got 76% ulti. Right? You could have gone this way, shut him down. You could have gone this way to shut him down. Like, he's discorded as well. You can kill him in 2 shots. You're sitting on cart too much. You really need to be leaving cart to go contest high ground. Right? This is a good opportunity to coach gun up, play high ground, start getting kills. One thing to note is that it is now 5.5 minutes into the game, and you do not have a kill. And by kill, I don't mean elimination. Eliminations are garbage. If you do 1 damage to somebody and someone else kills them, that counts as elimination. Eliminations are garbage, right? Final blows are what really matters, but especially in replay review, we can distinguish between, did someone kill snipe me, or did I actually deserve this kill? Like, if I do 195 damage to the Cassidy, and I still have plenty of ammo left, and someone else taps them and they kill them, that kill effectively belongs to me. Okay? I don't think you've gotten 0 final blows so far, and I think you have 0 effective final blows, like kills you deserve to get that someone else happened to have gotten. Like, I don't think you've even gotten anybody below half, except for the Cassidy headshot. That was kind of random, and you couldn't hit any shots after that. So, at 5 minutes in, we're about 4 minutes and 45 seconds of gameplay time. First 45 seconds is round start. So at 4:45 in, you have 0 final blows. The ideal number of final blows is something like 10 per minute is like great. But even something like 7.5 is still good, really good, I think. I'd have to double check stats to confirm. But you are way under that because right now you're on track for 0 per 10. So you're infinitely below that. But even if you're at 1, you're still dramatically below where you need to be for final blows. So this is a little weird. You're going to go shoot, shoot, shoot. I think you stop here because you get slept, which is incredible reaction time. Pop dynamite, great. You got a kill. So that's a final blow that you get, right? Just when I was talking about final blows. The thing is, I don't think you deserve this final blow. Really, your Ana deserves this final blow. Because nothing else here, like, you just happen to be spamming into this Winston. You didn't take this Winston down from full yourself. You didn't outplay this Winston anyway. He just happens to be in the middle of the group. You happen to do the damage that kills him. So technically, you get a final blow here. Effectively, I think this counts as 0. I don't think that it was meaningful at all. This Winston made a huge mistake trying to engage right there. But we'll give it to you. We'll say 1. We'll say you're at 1 final blow. Right, pop dynamite. I think that's a decent dynamite, right? Keeps them back, creates a little space. You should already be positioning on Saloon here or on Jail, whichever is your preference, to start getting ready for the next phase of the fight because they're going to have plenty of time to come out and contest this cart. You do not want to be in cart when they come out because then like all the pressure will be on you. As Ashe, your whole goal is to be nice and calm, safe, and calmly, like just reliably take out targets. Okay? If I'm playing Winston here, I don't need you to be sitting on the cart, moving the cart. I need you to be up here, right? Over here, like anywhere else where you can just kill targets while I take up all the attention. Right? You sitting on cart means that you're going to get distracted by people pushing you, which is not what I want. I want you to be like your best possible accuracy. This is a massive misplay. It is not your job to hold this door, right? As previously mentioned, I want you to be set up someplace safe to go and fight and take good angles where you're not going to be under any pressure. Right now, this is a definition of pressure. Oh man, you should have died for this for sure. So you do this, you just stand still right now in front of that Cassidy, who then shoots you again and somehow doesn't kill you. You somehow only take 138 damage here. I'm really confused how this does not kill you. Oh, he doesn't actually hit you. Something else hit you. That's why you don't die. But then you end up dying here anyway to the Winston. Again, you should never have been in this position. Like, if I'm Winston, I'm so confused. I'm like, why are you here? Like, you should never have been here. You should have been up top. Like, imagine you're playing Jail right now. You're invincible, right? Who's going to do anything about you? You just chill here. You're good, right? You just sit here, break the shield, right? Kill some other people. You're good. But unfortunately, you die first because you're really, really out of position. And then you come back as Reaper. So you had plenty of time to reload there, by the way. And then we're going to reset and go as Reaper. So let's kind of watch going after this Winston. Looking for teleport. So you missed that shot, which you shouldn't have. Again, this should be like 100% accuracy. Reaper this range. Get knocked back. So you could have just wraithed to the Mega here and picked up the Mega. Again, this is overtime right now, so you really need to survive. I do not want to be caught in the middle of the road here without any health and without Wraith, which is what happens. So the Tracer here is just going to read, hey, look, you popped Wraith, you're going the wrong direction. You see how the Racer's... Yeah, let me just watch. The Tracer's just going to look at you and be like, oh, okay. You popped Wraith, she just waits, reloads, falls, right? Kills you. Like, it's that straightforward, which is what, again, a Diamond DPS player would not have done this. A Diamond DPS player would have been like, oh, try to save my Zen, can't. I Wraith, pick up the Mega, come back, duel the Tracer, force rewind, then teleport forwards, is what you should have done. So in 7.5 minutes, 6 minutes and 45 seconds of game time, like playable time, I think you have one final blow. Which puts you on track for, 2/3 of a final blow per 10 or so, is not great. You need to get kills. There are many opportunities for you to get kills, but you're out of position / your aim is really holding you back. And your ability usage is holding you back too, right? Your dynamites are consistently both not being popped and not being popped in the right targets and not being popped in the right targets at the right time where people can follow up to get kills. The reality is Ashe is a very aim-dependent hero. If you've ever seen my DPS guide I published just recently where I talk about which DPS to learn, Ashe is a very aim-dependent hero, right? Compared to like Reaper. Reaper is far more forgiving than Ashe is. As Ashe, if you can't hit shots, you're going to do nothing. Quite frankly, nothing. Even Bastion's much easier to play than Ashe's, right? In terms of aim. So that's something to think about is like, do you want to train your aim? If you don't want to train your aim, think about maybe trying to play heroes that aren't as aim reliant. All right, so you're going over here. So the issue here is that Winston, you should have probably configured right away as soon as you saw the Winston. In fact, I would say that you should have scouted already that there is a Winston, but like at the beginning of the game, right now, it would have been okay to come out here and been like, hey, what do they have? Oh, they have Winston? Great. And now you immediately mentally prepare for the Winston because you want to get the Winston right when he comes in, not after he's already set up. The Winston's going to be doing what we call staging, where he's going to not dive you right away. He's going to get to the first spot, then get ready to dive or whatever, the next location. And you want to prevent him from staging if possible. So as soon as you see Winston, immediately transform. Yep. The problem, he's already out of there. What do you do right now? Kind of a rough situation. You shoot them. I don't know why you're shooting anybody other than the Cassidy right now. Shoot the Cassidy, right? Cassidy's discorded right now even. Just shoot the Cassidy. You're trying too hard to kill the Ana, who's like not killable behind the car. Reload. So there's not a lot that you honestly can do differently here, just because their team is playing really well around you, and you missed the opportunity to stop the Winston on the way in. I think that you probably need to reconsider. I mean, I think it's okay. I personally don't like playing with Bastion because situations like this where you're like, what the heck do I even do? You're just not that flexible hero. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of is what it is. I definitely don't jump there. You don't want to die. You should get that mini. So you getting low pulls the Zenyatta back, right? Zenyatta gets worried about you. Zenyatta and Kiriko are both pulled back to heal you, which means that your front is now getting no support, which is unfortunate. Because there's a lot riding on you now, because you're now basically taking 60% of the team with you. So you're holding configuration right now. I don't think that sticky was going to work. Yeah, I think this is fine. Yeah, I think this is good. Great, get the kill. Excellent. So reset. I think you could consider playing high ground initially and then forcing them to try to take that first and then repositioning. So I would probably... Oh, you don't tank form right now. Where did your tank form go? So I wouldn't have tank form right now, because assault form, because what are you going to shoot at? Like literally there's nobody on your screen. Like I would wait until they commit to the push. Now they know that you don't have tank form for another 10 seconds, which allows the Sigma to push in. Right? Now they have Bastion. You're going to go. Your aim is a little off there. Disruptor's on you. The stickies are pretty consistently off target as well. You have to stop jumping. You should talk to your friend as to why jumping is bad. So you've lost one. And now this fight's basically over. So technically you're only down one, but you're down your main support, main healer, number one. Number two is that you've given up all the space. So Sigma's the only one on point. You're stuck here, and you're probably the worst retake hero in the game. There's nobody in upper cafe. Soldier, thankfully, is going all the way over to the side path, but for the most part, they can do whatever the heck they want, and you're going to be totally locked out here, right? Even with tank form right now, what are you going to do with it? Right? If you tank form right now, you're not going to beat the Soldier and the Kiriko right now. Yeah. So you can pop out here. Great, great. Catch the Bastion out, excellent. Right, even almost sticky the Soldier, and that's good, right? Even though you miss it, that's like on target, right? That's fine. That's totally fine. Again, stickies, try to actually aim it at them versus just spamming them. It's got a fairly long cooldown. Right, I think this is a good tank form. I think your aim really let you down here. The Ana is not looking at you at all. Like, you've missed 80-90% of the shot so far because your aim is just not on target. I think you could have killed her if you were on target there. Now they all know where you are. I wouldn't even bother re-peeking at that point because they're gonna know. Right now they understand you don't have assault form. You see how the Soldier is just chasing you down, and then Trance is forced to save your life. Yeah. So, like, I think that the Zen is chasing you here, not the Kiriko. Kiriko's already around the corner. This is a big mistake, right? You basically waste tank form, then you get hunted down, right? Now you're sitting open. You should have immediately covered to the right instead of going back to the left. Now you're in big trouble. You force out trance, which means your team doesn't have ulti. This is not a good trance at all. There's almost no way that you can win a fight out of this. You're gonna pop ulti. You're both gonna ulti each other. You manage to win that trade, great. You get slammed down, and you kind of get killed. I don't really know what to do differently here. It's tough. I mean, the short answer is you're just not doing anything as Bastion for the most part. I mean, other than that early pick, everything like you have to get value out of every single tank form, right? Assault form. If you do not get value out of the assault form, assume you're going to lose. Every single one, it should be a pick or forcing the team back out of a fight they committed resources to, and that is just not happening, right? This is a good example. So right here, you pop assault form. Okay, cool. You shoot, and they just cover. Like they're not using any resources here. Right? And now they know you don't have assault form, so now they push because this is probably a master's level game. So they all know as soon as you don't have assault form, they're going to push. Comparatively, look at what their Bastion does. Okay? Okay, assault form's gone, right? So he's going to see assault form here, right? Great. He hides, waits. Okay, assault form's over. Confirms his team is here. Now he commits. And now you see how much damage he's doing. He forces Sigma Grasp out. Okay? He forced the Sigma Grasp out, then he goes for the Zen and kills the Zen. So he's forced one ability, right? Grasp, and he got the kill on the Zen. Comparatively, you did neither of those things despite having a nearly identical lineup. So that is like the big reason why like their Bastion is just dramatically outplaying you. So now you go tank form again. Okay, you got some kills. Cool. You get super low here, and then you die. But I think your team is going to be able to clean up. Yeah, your team's able to clean up from there. Chilling. So I would be careful about popping assault form first against Sigma until you forced out Grasp. Otherwise, he can completely shut you down. You go for the Bastion. I don't know why you back away from the edge. You could have just killed him right there. See right here? Stay on him. Like, why did you back up? This is a critical moment where you needed to be doing like max damage to him. I think that's unfortunate to not be fighting right then. Bastion ulti's popped. I do not know about that tank form, but... So, Sojourner pops overclock, you are super low, and you eat the rock and die. You're just like way too far away from cover. Again, your tank form doesn't do anything. You're like optimistic that it's going to do something. I think you're having a lot of trouble reading how the fight's going to go. If in your position, I have no reason to believe this Bastion's going to hard peek me. Right? With my Sigma and Kiriko already in his face, I don't think he's going to peek me. So I don't pop tank form there and I hold it. Assault form. I'm going to say the tank form for assault form the whole time, even though it's not technically correct. And then, right, it's a lot of danger. I would probably like zigzag and just get back in through this way versus trying to walk through the open. You're kind of just like hoping nobody attacks you here, which is just not going to work at higher ranks. Coming out here, you're going to pop ulti. So I would say as a general rule for ulti, you should pop them like really fast, like 1, 2, 3. Like for example, you could have done like 1, 2, 3 right there and try to kill the Ana, but you see how you pop them slowly, which gives the Ana plenty of time to dodge. You also double pop both on the point, even though you should really be using it to kill squishies. And Bastion, I think, hears you coming. Yeah, Bastion hears you coming and just goes to Assault Worm and just wrecks you. Okay, so summary. I would say you need to take a hard look as to what heroes you want to be maining, right? If you want to be maining aim dependent, like for example, Bastion and Reaper are both a lot easier to play than Ashe. If you want to be playing Ashe, okay, Ashe or Widow or Hanzo, for example, or Cassidy, that are like heavily aim dependent heroes, I think that you should start looking into training your aim. And there's a lot of resources online to do that. I personally don't coach aim training, but I would strongly recommend that you look into aim training, right? And doing a lot more death matching on your own and just get used to killing heroes in all sorts of different circumstances, right? Like go into, FFA deathmatch, for example, and try to win every single deathmatch that you ever get into. I think is a pretty good. I think that once you're in like upper diamond, low masters, you can pretty consistently win FFAs. From my experience doing FFAs like back in the day, is even at that level, like most of the other players will be a lot worse than you, and you should easily be able to win the match. But I don't think you can do that right now on any of your heroes would be my guess. Not like you're not gonna win like 100% of the time, but like be like top 2 every single time that you're playing. Because I think that, again, I think your aim's letting you down. I think your movement's letting you down. I think that your ability usage is just letting you down in just like the straightforward department of killing people. Because excluding Bastion, I think you have one final blow in the entire offense, right? Yeah, you had one final blow on that Bastion, on the Winston, who just dropped on the cart and died instantly. That's not going to cut it. Again, you can look up final blows, the correct numbers for final blows on like Overbuff for like what your ballpark range should be, but you're really far off. You're getting easily, I would say, less than half as many final blows as you need to be getting to just stay even for your level, right? If you were like solo queuing Diamond 2, I don't think that you could stay in Diamond 2 with your current level of play. Anyway, so that's number 1, is just general aim / mechanics / ability usage. Number 2 is I would think about where do I want to be playing? Like, what are the areas that are good for me and versus bad for me? So thinking back onto the first point, okay, Ashe is a medium to long range hero. So fighting here, good. Fighting here, good. Fighting here, bad. Fighting here, bad. And fighting here, super bad, right? And just stay out of ranges that are not good for you. Reaper is the exact opposite, right? With Reaper, I want to be close, not far. Reaper, I don't want to be playing. I don't even be playing over here. I'm not going to do anything from here, right? Here is okay, but like here is great. Like if I'm taking a fight here, excellent. Taking a fight here, excellent. Taking a fight here, excellent, right? Taking a fight over here, excellent. Those are really good places to be as Reaper that are really bad for Ashe. So changing your ranges is good. And then as Bastion, I think that you need to be able to read the fight, which is really hard for me to explain, but I would maybe watch higher ranked Bastion gameplay and be like, when do they pop Assault Form? Right? Everything revolves around your assault form. You have 6 seconds where you're like the strongest like damage dealer in the game, and you have to make great use of it. If you don't, you will lose. And you see the other team is able to easily bait out, or I would say something you just straight up waste your assault form, right? They're able to wait out your assault form and then push into your team and roll you over pretty consistently. And if we look at the opposing Bastion, that Bastion gets kills and forces out cooldowns, right, resources from your team in a way that you aren't. So why is he effective and why are you ineffective is something to think about, right? And again, studying higher ranked Bastions can be very, very helpful with that. Okay, I'm going to pause there. Hopefully this is helpful. And thank your friend a lot for getting this review.